What's up, Homestead homies? You are watching Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. Hey, I'm Fawn Falk from Olathe, Kansas. And I'm Laree Smith from Denton, Texas.
What's up, Homestead homies? Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I'm Doug, and that's not Stacy. Guys, we're still at the Baker Creek Spring Planting Festival, and oddly enough, we ran into Rachel. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. It's an amazing story, really an amazing story. She's a young lady, and she's trying to fight the GMO battle to bring knowledge and awareness to people for planting and using heirloom seeds, treatment of their soils, and all things like organic and healthy. And it's nice to see the young people taking charge and forging ahead and basically grabbing the baton from the older folks and running with it. So you're a senior?
Yeah, I'm 18 now, so. Yeah.
So she's down here speaking at the conference, and we were, she was gracious enough to spend a little time with us, and we're going to introduce her to you guys, and maybe you can follow along on her journey, support her cause, and get to know her a little better. Now, you might have seen a YouTube clip that circulated the internet. It was a couple years ago?
Yeah, I was 14 at the time.
Yeah, and who was it with?
I was debating Kevin Oleary on television after he said that anyone who was marching against Monsanto was stupid, and that if they didn't like GMOs, they should just stop eating.
Yeah.
And I was super upset by what he said, so I publicly challenged him to debate me. And yeah, this is what happened.
Yeah, so we'll watch that right now.
I want to respond to Mr. Kevin Oleary's idiotic statement about stupid people protest against Monsanto. While on the Lang and Oleary show, which aired on CBC May 27th, Kevin Oleary said to all of us, and I quote, "I have an answer to these people. Stop eating. Then we can get rid of them." Well, I challenge you, Mr. Oleary, to have me on your show next week, and if you promise not to use the word stupid, then I won't use the word fascist.
That was 14-year-old Rachel Parent throwing down the gauntlet to Kevin. The teen activist is passionate about genetically modified food and, as you just heard, takes issue with a lot of things Kevin has to say on the subject, including a show that we did some time ago. Rachel's an activist and the founder of Kids' Right to Know. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me here today.
I want to start with how you came to be passionate about this. What was it about GMO that actually drew you in the first place?
Well, originally I had to do a speech for my school, and I really wasn't sure what to do it on. So I was researching these different topics, and I realized that GMOs actually affected everything. So I decided to go with GMOs and researched it more and more, and then eventually I just got so into it protesting and got so into it I started doing speeches for other people.
Who are the other people you're doing speeches for?
I actually go to schools, and I also do speeches at protests and different conferences as well.
Are your parents involved? Is it something that they supported, or was this something that you did all on your own?
I did it, but they support me completely.
Yeah.
You know what a lobbyist is, right?
Yes.
Somebody, okay. Do you think you're a lobbyist for the movement that's against genetically modified foods? Would you call yourself that?
No, I don't think so, and I think that I'm just a part of that movement, and I feel like I'm supporting the youth, really.
And why, when you say kids' right to know, why do you feel it's important? I mean, this is obviously an issue that's a political hot button, right? It's a fight in places like Europe, keeping the foods out of places, labeling them in America. It's all over the place. Why do kids in particular, in your view, need to have an awareness of this?
For sure. I believe it's our future, after all. I mean, if you're going to do something to our food, we should definitely know about it. And we're the ones who might have to live with these consequences. So why not be informed about it?
Do you make the assumption right out of the gate that all kids your age believe that this is a bad thing to experiment with foods to make them better or worse? Is this something that you think everybody thinks is bad?
Not necessarily, but I believe that everyone has the right to know what's in their food. And that's exactly why my whole campaign's about. And that's why I just want GMO labeling, and that way people can make informed decisions about what they want to eat.
Critics say people need more information about food that's been altered for health and safety reasons. Rachel Parent is a teen activist and founder of Kids Right to Know. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
I want to talk about sort of this fine distinction, and Kevin was raising this before, but is it an all or nothing question? Because we, throughout history, whether it's, the breeding of animals or, introducing things like hothouse tomatoes, we do change the way things are grown, and we even change their makeup, their color, the content of them. We just do it more slowly outside of a lab. Is there some room to improve things scientifically if we safety test them, if we actually go through the same kind of FDA studies you have to do with a drug?
Well, I think a lot of people also confuse hybridization with GMOs.
Yep.
And just to clarify, GMOs, it's a genetically modified organism, and it's where they take the DNA from a species such as it can be like bacteria, virus, animal, or even from a plant, and they insert it into the DNA of another species to introduce a new trait. For instance, a common trait is pesticide producing. So they'll make the crops pesticide producing, but they haven't adequately tested, and Monsanto's longest study is 90 days. That really doesn't determine how long-term it's going to affect our health, the environment, and even our entire ecosystem.
Yeah.
Saying Monsanto's testing in 90 days is a little mislabeling it, because many other organizations, including it sounds like some ones you're involved in, do much more testing. So a product comes to market, many people test it, including the government. So Monsanto knows that about food.
Actually, in Health Canada nor the FDA do any independent studies, and they rely only on the very studies provided by the companies that stand to gain by their approval, like Monsanto.
So that's cool. So it was kind of a funny story. We were just talking over some hanging out, and she had mentioned that she had a YouTube video that kind of went a little viral, and I was like, oh really? And I asked her what it was, and then she told me, and I was like, I've seen that video a couple years ago, and that was pretty amazing. So you want to tell everybody like what you're passionate about and what you're trying to get accomplished?
For sure, and thank you so much for the introduction. It's really sweet. I started my organization, Kids Right to Know, when I was 12. And basically what we try and do is create awareness about GMOs and the right to know what's in our food. We've been advocating for mandatory GMO labeling for the past 6 years because it's so important that we know what we're putting in our bodies, what we're feeding to our families. After all, we are what we eat, and we have to make sure that we're putting the healthiest food possible in our bodies.
Isn't it amazing that for most foods, like they could put some of the worst chemicals that are bad for your body and plainly and blatantly label those, and people still purchase them, but for some reason they're so reluctant to just put that this product is genetically modified on the labels, and they're so scared that people won't buy them.
For sure, and even when California had their labeling bill, Monsanto and the other biotech companies spent $47 million trying to stop this bill. And it's absolutely insane that these companies are spending such incredible amounts to just deny us the right to know what's in our food.
I mean, it's when you think about it like that, it's just something's up. So we need to be conscious and vigilant on that. It's great to see her movement and what she's trying to do in educating kids her age. She's going to be starting up a YouTube channel, so we'll keep you guys informed on that, so maybe you can check out her stuff. And I think, are you going to do like a Rachel's News?
Yeah, my Twitter is @Rachel's News. You can follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook.
Yeah, and actually Rachel has even had opportunities to like sit in with board members at Monsanto.
Yeah, I actually went to the Monsanto shareholder meeting last year, and I was able to address Hugh Grant, the CEO of Monsanto, and basically ask him a few key questions. I asked him, if you're so proud of your product and you truly believe it's safe and helping the world, then why do you waste millions of dollars of your shareholders' money basically campaigning against us and going against our right to know instead of promoting your product? And then I was also able to ask if you truly believe your products and your safety studies are so sound, why don't you post your studies for independent scientists to review on your website? If there's nothing to hide, then you're set. You should post it.
It is amazing that most of the studies that they get done are in-house, and that no one can do it on the outside. So we just want you guys to remain vigilant. Keep purchasing your heirloom seeds. Pass those seeds down to your family. Save them every year. Do what you can. Say no to GMO. We really appreciate your fight and your activism in this area. It's it's affecting people's health. And I think people, the movement is getting to where people are understanding that, and they're moving away from it, and I think that's what has Monsanto freaked out. I mean, it can tell you something when like third world countries or less informed countries are denying GMO food to come onto their lands.
Exactly, and even I think Monsanto's really scared of the fact that if we have labeling, they know people are going to try and boycott or avoid those products. They would lose major profits, and that's a given. Look at Europe. They've had labeling for quite some time now, the entire European Union, and people started going against the products that contain these genetically modified ingredients. So now companies are making their food differently in Europe than they do or Canada and the US. And it's really interesting to see that contrast. People demanded there that they shouldn't be eating GMOs, and they won that fight. So
amazing. And even China, just recently we saw reports that they're saying no to GMO soy.
yeah.
I mean, it's huge, and we're supposed to be the leaders in the world on all these things. We're supposed to be the smart folks. So we're just encouraging you guys to do your homework, be vigilant, you know, stay knowledgeable, stay in the loop. Where can people follow your journey as right now until you get your YouTube channel up?
Our Twitter is @Rachel's News, Instagram is also @Rachel's News, and Kids Right to Know, and our Facebook you can look up Rachel Parent or Kids Right to Know.
So kidsrighttoknow.com? Or?
Our website is kidsrighttoknow.com.
Excellent. And I'll have all those links down below for you guys so you can check into them, and maybe if you want to support what she's trying to do. Her mom and her family, they travel around the country, they speak at different locations and places, and they're very passionate, and they are really trying to spread the message so you guys can be healthier and, you know, eat foods that you're actually meant to eat and not something that's been made in a test tube.
Exactly. It's up to us whether we decide to eat these foods or not, and we really need to make that difference. So if possible, go non-GMO, go organic. Not only will it benefit yourselves, but it'll benefit our environment and our world for future generations to come.
Killing it. Good job, bro. All right, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And again, all of her links will be linked down below. So go smash her Instagram and her Twitter and everything, and let them know that you guys are supporting what she's trying to do. Let's encourage the youth.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. You might want to check out these videos.
And if you want to become a Homestead homie, click the picture of us below.
We will see you tomorrow.